Pitchers and catchers reported yesterday. Jed Hoyer talked to the media, and we got an idea of what we're looking at. Or do we? I don't know. We're going to talk about it here on the Cubs Baseball channel, brought to you by DraftKings. Thank you guys for hanging out with us. Let's get this thing started. Go Cubs. Like, subscribe, thumbs up. What do you say, everybody? Mick Gillespie at Broadcaster Mick on the socials, and it is great to see you guys today to talk about the Cubs and what's going on. Look, pitchers and catchers reported, and that happened. That happened yesterday. That means that baseball is here. Jed Hoyer talked to the media, and I think he gave us kind of an insight of where the Cubs are, what they're thinking, and I wanted to share that with you guys because – I feel like there is still hope that the Cubs go out and sign, obviously, Alex Bregman, third baseman. Now, when you talk about this, it's a debate that we're going to have until this thing's figured out. Are the Cubs going to do this? If they don't, what's the other answer? The answer right now is Matt Shaw. Practicing at third base, drafted him in the first round. He's a former shortstop, and people don't think that he could play shortstop in the big leagues, but they feel like he could play second or third. He's put up really good numbers. Not only is he hit for power, but he's also gotten on base. And the thing that I want to say about him, what you guys, if you watch the show regularly, I've seen him play a lot. The most impressive part of his game is that he's going to walk. He's going to get on base. So even when he struggles, his on-base percentage stays pretty consistent because, he'll get on base with the walks. He's got a really good eye. And I feel like when you talk about young players transitioning from the minor leagues to the major leagues, two things matter to me. First off, can you play defense? When we had Christopher Morel, he could not play defense. The guy never played defense. And they moved him to the big leagues, and then they expected him to play defense. He didn't play defense his entire time in the minor leagues. He wasn't good at it. And there was never an expectation for that. And then he got to the major leagues and everybody thought, well, where's the defense at? And he couldn't do it. And then you're watching last year's spring training. You hear people that claim to be analysts saying, oh, he just needs confidence and this and that. Look, no, he needs technique, right? He needs to know how to set his feet, where to position his body, how the gloves got to hit a certain spot, how his feet got to hit in a certain spot, like where his arm's supposed to be. He never had a chance to be a defender because he never had the right technique and he was never good at defense. Matt Shaw isn't that guy. Matt Shaw's actually really good technically. He's a player who came up from college, and his entire time through the minor leagues, all he's done is just is show you that, look, wherever you put him on the diamond, the guy figures it out, okay, defensively. So that's the first thing. Now, the second thing to me for young players getting to the big leagues is if you struggle, are you going to be able to get on base? And when we look at, say, Pete Crow Armstrong, the problem that a lot of us had with him is that we know he can play, and I really believe in him, but when he was struggling as his rookie season, he couldn't get on base because he didn't have the eye to walk to get on base. Well, Matt Shaw's not that player. He's got a great eye, and throughout his entire career, from the time that they drafted him all the way up through the minor leagues, he's had a really good ability to walk even when he struggles, and then he's kind of figured it out, and then he starts hitting the ball. That's your first option for the Cubs at third base. Now, Jed Hoyer was asked about, hey, kind of what are they thinking with adding a starter, which we think's Dylan Cease, right? What about a third baseman? Here's what he said. I wouldn't rule out anything. Well, of course he's going to say that, because if the Cubs do not win this year, all these people are fired. It's that simple. This is a do or die situation for him and this entire front office, right? He also went on to say, You always want to make sure that you don't tread too heavy on the future, which we talked about that. All the players that the Cubs have gotten rid of in these different trades, and their farm system went from number 2 all the way down to number 15. So they went from the top to the middle pretty fast, right? But at the same time, wins are at a premium now. We're a good team now. And that's what we all hope. And when I say this, it's not criticizing Jed Hoyer. I like Jed. I'm not doing that. Some of you guys can't stand him. Some of you guys don't like Tom Ricketts. Some of you guys don't like Craig Counsell. I'm not one of those guys. I like all of those guys. What I'm saying though is that if being on this channel, it's my channel. If I want to say that I disagree with something, it doesn't mean I'm not pulling for him. Okay. And I know most of these guys personally, like I've met them, I've been around them, and I pull for them. I'm a Cubs fan. I don't want to see them mortgage the future too much to try to win. But then again, when the Cubs start winning, I'm pretty happy. And what I'm seeing right now is 1-year deal with Presley. Okay. 1-year deal with Tucker. And you gave up your, a first round pick and an all-star to get him, right? What are you going to give up to get Cease? And are you really willing, is the front office willing to put the money out for Bregman? And if you get Bregman, then what does that mean for Matt Shaw? And that's what we're looking at right now as things kind of take a step. But it was good to see Jed. It was good to see Carter Hawkins. Those guys are as focused as I've ever seen them. There's a sense of urgency with this front office right now. Do not think that there's not. They know the same thing I'm telling you, that their livelihoods, that their legacies are on the line right now. And it's either win now or, for Jed Hoyer, he's going to be somebody else's assistant for the rest of his career. Okay. And he's always been known as the backup for Theo. That's what he's going to be known for if the Cubs don't win right now. And I don't have a problem with a sense of urgency. Guys, show's brought to you by DraftKings. And again, take advantage of this. $5 down, download that DraftKings app, get you $200 in bonus bets. So that's our deal. Super Bowl last night, Eagles destroyed the Chiefs. We don't have a three-peat. We just don't. But it was fun to watch. Super Bowl 59 is right around the corner, and it's the perfect time to get in on the action with my partners at DraftKings Sportsbook. Right now, they're giving all new customers $200 in bonus bets instantly after betting just $5. This is your shot to make every last play a moment to be remembered. Don't wait. Download the DraftKings app now and sign up using the promo code CBC. The crown is yours. Stay in on all the action and use your $200 in bonus bets on DraftKings same-game parlays for a shot at even bigger payouts. Combine multiple bets together from the same game. Love the thrill of live betting? DraftKings has got you covered. Bet live on in-progress games right as they happen, making watching the game that much more exciting. If sports betting is not available in your state yet, don't worry. You can still join in on all the fun with DraftKings Daily Fantasy and have a shot to win cash prizes. Download the DraftKings app now. New customers use my promo code CBC and bet just $5 on any wager and get $200 in bonus bets instantly. That's promo code CBC only at DraftKings Sportsbook. So I guess the next thing now is, will the Cubs make a play for Alex Bregman? And I think that they're in the process of doing that. We talked about it here on the Cubs baseball channel, that the funnel of teams for Bregman is getting slimmer. You hear that maybe the Astros have upped their offer. I don't know that that's true. I mean, they've got a third baseman that's an all-star, and they just got a trade with the Cubs for a future third baseman. So they got two guys that play third. You're going to go sign another guy to a long-term contract? It doesn't make financial sense, right? Red Sox talking to the Cardinals, about Arenado, does that say that they're out of this mix, right? And then once you get by them, then who's left? Do you want to go play in Detroit? Do you want to play in Toronto, or do you want to play with the Cubs? I know that it's hard to hit doubles, according to Buster Only's, analytics guy, but at Wrigley Field. But at the end of the day, where do you want to play? Do you and if you add Alex Bregman to the Cubs lineup, and I'm not advocating for Shaw not to play, but it absolutely transforms this lineup into one of the most formidable lineups in the National League. And if anybody's going to knock off the Dodgers, you better have star power. So there we go. All right, Cubs open up against the Dodgers in Japan. And guess who's pitching for the Cubs? Shota, going to pitch in Japan, right? Like Craig Counsell and everybody else with the Cubs knows that this has to happen, right? We're not even shocked about this. Like, you're not going to Japan and not pitching in. I think all of us want to see the Shota against Yamamoto matchup when the Cubs play the World Series champion Dodgers in Japan. So we know that Shota, if everything goes the way it's supposed to go in spring, it's going to start one of those games in Tokyo when the Cubs play the Dodgers, which is pretty cool. Cubs spring training started, and it was the first spring training of all the spring trainings. So the Cubs had their pitchers and catchers report yesterday. So spring training has started, and here we are. Now, part of the reason that it started early is obviously you got to play Dodgers in Japan, and so you want to get that thing going. So pretty exciting that baseball is back. But we're going to chew more on what Jed Hoyer had to say, what Carter Hawkins had to say. But at the end of the day, the most important thing that I heard is that the Cubs are serious about Alex Bregman. And I don't know if it's going to work, okay? But they're serious about Alex Bregman, because if they weren't, he would have made that apparent. And all I left with was the impression that, yes, the Cubs really do feel like he's someone that could help them. And the other thing to me is that sense of urgency that I keep talking about, it's there. It's transparent. They know it. We know it. The front office knows it. This better be a big year for the Cubs. And I sure hope it is. All right, you guys tell me what you think. Get in the comment section. Like, subscribe, thumbs up, comment. Tell me what you guys think. Thank you for hanging out with us. We will do it again tomorrow. And we'll talk some more unless something breaks, and we'll slide on here and do it live. Thanks, guys. Cubs Baseball Channel. I'm Mick Gillespie. Go Cubs.